there exists a group of brothers, perhaps I may even go as far as calling them lost brothers, who still remain integral to the black community, but have convinced themselves that by living amongst the white masses and inheriting property in white middle class neighborhoods and having white titles with white sheets and white status and the supposed appraisal of white people, you will find these particular people have been known by the remaining majority of the black community and identified as the minority for giving away the key to the black people and their success, which is a strong black community. You will find that these people rise up within the ranks and generate masses of wealth. And while they may claim to help the black community, they do nothing more than sell our people to the system, the same system which caused the issue, in exchange for maintenance of their new white label and their new white status and their new white neighbors. These people have created a inherent problem, not only for themselves, but in particular the black majority who still remain stuck in low income, have no sort of direction, despite these black masses having, or these black brainwashed puppets having enough collective wealth to put together and build infrastructure, to build factories, to inherit property, and perhaps to even raise the funding for these black communities to establish proper resources of their own. You will find that these black puppets do nothing more than sell out the black community, and by doing so, they will mingle their wealth to dine in white restaurants, to mingle amongst white people, to buy white clothes, to have white related lifestyles, instead of realizing the people who fund the communities where where their race is integrated to, and neglecting the contribution that the black minority makes, or the black majority within the low social income areas make, towards providing the black backbone, should I call it, to give America a clean impression as to what it means to fight as a black man. The only people you'll see fighting ever are the black people in the low social income areas who are trying their best to alleviate the pressure, the same pressure that these brainwashed black puppets continue to inflict on the remaining black masses by selling their people out to a white system, by getting white police, by getting white authorities, and by mingling their hard-earned status and their children, stripping them away from their black roots and placing them amongst nothing but pure white snow in an attempt to help the children reimagine a future away from black people, and ultimately instilling fear and a lack of confidence in the black inherent identity which lies within the black community. This problem will continue, and remains prevalent, and brings a traffic of concern, not only for the black people in the low income areas, but also for the white people who are wondering what on earth are these black folks doing inheriting the land that we barricaded from them. It is only these black puppets who will seem to justify their rise amongst the classes. Never, okay, I'm just gonna say this, there is nothing wrong with wanting a nice house, wanting a good lifestyle, of wanting safety in schools, safety and security. Believe me, I am not here to scrutinize black people. I understand that as black people, we gotta do what black people have to do. A black man's gotta make his money somehow. A black man has to secure his assets, his property, his wealth, and establish what he's gotta do to survive the traps that America has created. My problem doesn't come with that, okay? And as a matter of fact, to my further claim, you got white friends and you're in a white neighborhood, I would actually say good job to you. You know, you've come a long way. You want to know where my problem lies? It's when the black masses who make it into these areas choose to sell out black people, who choose to eradicate the black culture, who choose to give a different impression to the white people by letting them know that we surrender, that we have no more fights left in us to carry ourselves further, when it was the same black fights that got us out of that slump into the white community. We feel glad that with their token, the mere token and the white dollar bill that they present to us, that we should be at a sense of satisfaction, that we should be a sense of ease. Or these people, should I say, have completely dropped the black fight at cause. The same black fight that established movements and has been fresh throughout history. It has not even been 100 years since the black man received rights to reside in these areas, and somehow black people are lying here like we've made it to the top, when as a matter of fact we have not even started. The only area we've started in is hurting our own black brothers and sisters by giving them the same impression that they need to fold and code switch to the same law and to the same brainwashing and programming that has been inflicting amongst these black middle class neighborhoods. You would never in your life go to a white neighborhood and see a black owned store, and should the black people have any sort of equity, you would notice that they are only given a partial ownership of that store. The white people will always label them as a second class store, or a startup, or a middle ground business, or a small firm. Despite the accomplishments that have been made, there's always a sense of superiority that these black people seem to deny. And furthermore, these black people go as far as alienating their own children, who perhaps will be forced into these white institutions and have to undergo the racist bigotry of white people clowning the black people for their black identity, exploiting the black people on a psychological and racist level. And anytime these black children question the white system, or in particular bring it up to these black puppets will label them, scrutinize them, and tell them that their child is insane for calling out the white man, the same good old white man who colonized and enslaved and brutalized a mass of our elders and our brothers and our sisters. We are tricked by these puppets into thinking that their token and their wave and their smile is enough to satisfy the fact that they are nothing more than innocent creatures. You can hide a lot behind a smile, okay? And believe me, as an African, let me tell you something. You should learn a lot from the hyenas. Those same animals who laugh at your face before they devour you up. can be seen within the communities where these black puppets have been convinced that these same white people who laugh at their corny old jokes and who give them a smile and a handshake and a good boy pat on the hat is a symbol of acceptance, when it is nothing more than a cover-up to blind the black man from ever considering the source of his power, which is the core root of his blackness. He is told to secretly degrade himself and to bring himself down to the level of a dog, to the level of a boy, and he is used completely to the point where he owns nothing of his own. He doesn't even own his own mind. He's convinced he owns something of his own because he has a little bit of white money and he's received a bit of white attention. But in reality, there is nothing that he owns that the white people have not already colonized from him and have already taken to a degree and a sense of their own capital and their own gain. I say this because it's very important that any black people who are rising to the top become made aware that black people, black puppets, work within these institutions, these same institutions who established constitutional laws and philosophies that inherited black people to property are being supported by these black puppets. Once again, I'm not scrutinizing anybody for working a white job or for having a white boss or for working in a white neighborhood. There's nothing, a black person's got to do what a black person's got to do to survive and make a living. And I believe in that, I respect that. The real issue that I will forever press is how these black puppets neglect the black experience and deny their own people supports when the white masses covertly practice systematic oppression on these young black people. They are called out and labeled with false accusations, which is nothing more than the white attempts to hide up the guilt that they cannot resist the urge to project their racism by hiding it with a smile and by giving a handshake to the same puppets who they have put in place to make sure that no other black people make it further and beyond that role or that level. For as long as they have the handshake and the approval and can call you neighbor or friend, or act friendly, they will always have a equity in your property and in your inheritance, because secretly you have been maneuvered into a life of accepting the same people who will not let you rest in your own home, and will always look for a reason to bring arguments to question your blackness or to prove their whiteness, and ultimately give themselves any reason possible to let you know that they are still in control. I can't help these people anymore. I've gone through such great extents to try and undo the brainwashing, and this is what is causing the pain. I would say that I think they have already determined, whether it's these black brainwashed lawyers or black brainwashed upper class, middle class black people who operate off of white status and have abandoned the black cause. They've already determined that that's their new way of life, and sadly there's no way of changing that.